totally fresh approach to building a healthy lifestyle, one that actually gets you real results, without all the burnout. We have all heard this one, right? But let's be honest, when it's cold outside and all your body is screaming for is warm, cozy comfort food, starting some super strict diet feels, well, pretty much impossible. And this is what sets up a really, really frustrating pattern for so many of us. And I bet it sounds a little something like this. You try to be perfect all day long with your food, but then bam, a craving hits. You tell yourself, no, shouldn't do it, but you give in. Maybe it's a big bowl of ramen. And then what happens? Immediately, the guilt kicks in, and you find yourself promising, it's fine, I'll just start over fresh tomorrow. Sound familiar? Yeah, this is what we're calling the winter diet cycle. It's this all or nothing trap. And it's totally fueled by all the confusing, conflicting information you see online that just leaves you feeling defeated. But here's the secret. The problem isn't your willpower. It has never been your willpower. It's the approach itself that's broken. All right, so how do we actually break this cycle? Well, it all starts at the very foundation. We have to completely rethink our relationship with food and calories. Okay, the first major mind shift is this. So many of us are conditioned to see food as either good or bad. But what if we just stopped? What if we stopped judging calories and started seeing them for what they actually are, a simple, neutral unit of measurement? I mean, think about it. A calorie is literally just a unit of energy. A donut isn't evil, and a stalk of broccoli isn't virtuous. They're just different amounts of energy for your body. The real key isn't the number itself, but the context and the balance of everything else you're eating. And this is exactly why focusing on the quality of your food is so incredibly freeing. When you're eating real, single-ingredient foods, you just naturally start to regulate yourself. I mean, it is almost impossible to accidentally overeat 300 calories of spinach, right? But a bag of chips with the same number of calories, yeah, that can disappear in minutes and still leave you wanting more. Now, this does not mean you can never have your favorite foods ever again. No way. In fact, trying to completely restrict things like pizza or ice cream, it almost always backfires. You end up obsessing over it, and when you finally give in, you go way overboard. So the key isn't restriction, it's all about moderation. And here's what that actually looks like in real life. Instead of fighting a craving until you can't take it anymore, you just acknowledge it. Instead of eating ice cream straight from the carton, you put a small scoop in a bowl. Instead of the whole pizza, you have one amazing slice with a big delicious salad. It is such a simple strategy to let you enjoy your life while still staying on track. Okay, so we've got our food mindset sorted. Let's talk about fitness, because the goal here is not to punish ourselves in the gym. It is all about moving our bodies in a way that's actually effective and, more importantly, sustainable. It's about working smarter, not just harder. Okay, this is a huge one. We often have this idea that a workout doesn't count unless we're completely exhausted and drenched in sweat at the end. But the truth? Moving your body for even just 10 or 30 minutes every single day is so much more effective than one grueling 2-hour session once a week. Consistency is what builds habits and prevents you from burning out. Now, let's talk about it. Let's tackle the biggest myth that holds so many people, especially women, back from strength training. Is it really true? Will lifting weights make you look bulky? The answer is a huge, definitive no. You know that toned look that everyone talks about wanting? Well, that comes from building muscle. And here's the secret. Muscle is way denser than fat, which just means it takes up less space. So as you build muscle and lose fat, you actually become leaner and more compact, not bigger. And what about cardio? Well, instead of those super high-intensity workouts that can actually spike your stress hormone, cortisol, you might want to consider something called Zone 2 cardio. This is a lower intensity state. Think like a brisk walk on an incline, where your body becomes incredibly efficient at using its own fat stores for fuel. And you know what the best part is? You don't need any fancy gadgets to figure this out. Just use the conversation test. If you can comfortably hold a chat while you're exercising, you're probably in that perfect fat-burning zone 2. If you're gasping for air, you're actually pushing too hard for this specific goal. Yep, it's that simple. And one last fitness tip for you. Be intentional with your movements. It's something called the mind-muscle connection. So instead of just kind of going through the motions, you actively focus your brain on the specific muscle you're trying to work. Slow it down, feel that muscle contract. This simple mental shift is actually scientifically proven to activate more muscle fibers, which gets you better results from the exact same exercise. So look, great nutrition and smart fitness, those are like 2 legs of a 3-legged stool. To make it truly stable and sustainable, we have to build a really strong lifestyle foundation to support them both. And this foundation really rests on three critical pillars. First, managing your stress, because high cortisol literally makes your body hold on to weight. Second, prioritizing sleep. Seriously, start thinking of 8 hours as your non-negotiable recovery time. And third, shaping your environment. You can't build a new identity when your old one is just staring you in the face every single day. Okay, let's bring this all together now. When you combine this new way of thinking about food, a smarter way to exercise, and a truly supportive lifestyle, what you get is a really powerful shift in your entire perspective. And maybe the most important point of all is that this journey is not about being perfect. It's not about hating yourself into making a change. It's about being consistent with the right habits and just showing up for yourself, even on the days you don't feel perfect. And this, right here, this is the core idea that changes everything. Real, lasting change doesn't come from punishment. It comes from self-respect. When you truly care for yourself, you want to nourish your body, you want to move it, and you want to let it rest. Health stops being a chore, and it becomes a reward. So, I will leave you with this question to think about. In your own life, right now, is the way you approach your health a reward that you give yourself, or is it a punishment that you have to endure? Because the answer to that question, well, it could change everything.